name?
Hello. So I have TobyMac for you, but I only have about 10 minutes.
Okay.
So I'll have him wrap you up when we're ready. All right. 1 second.
Hey, Nate, what's up? It's Toby.
What's going on, Toby?
Not much, man.
So tell me a little bit about this new project you're doing out there, this show.
You mean my new record I'm finishing up?
Yeah, you can tell me about that, too. I was more interested in the show you were doing today.
Oh, well, yeah, no problem. I didn't know what you were referring to. Yeah, today I'm going to appear on Beyond A.D, the show, and which is a show that kind of features talk about the current I guess episode of A.D. that's on NBC, and do a song. I have a song called Beyond Me. It's on my new record that comes out in August. So I'm doing that song, and sitting on the couch and doing a little interview about this specific episode, which is mainly based on Saul, before he sort of makes his conversion to Christianity and to becoming Paul. So we talked briefly about that, and I'll be sitting there with Louis Giglio, so that's exciting.
Yeah, that is really exciting. You know, a lot of musicians, you travel the country and see a lot of cities and meet a lot of people, but you get to see a lot of homeless also. Our magazine worked with Skid Row for a number of years in Los Angeles. Are you familiar with Skid Row?
Sure. What do you say? You get to see a lot of what also?
You see a lot of homelessness outside concert venues and in downtown areas, when you're touring.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering, have you had any experiences with the homeless?
The main, not homeless as much as lower income, who from time to time have been homeless, but I put a lot of my efforts into a school called New Hope Academy that reaches out to lower income students in Franklin, Tennessee, where I live. And I do a lot of fundraising for that school. And the closest I come to specifically working with the homeless is in Nashville, Tennessee. I support an organization called People Loving Nashville, which reaches out to the homeless in Nashville one night a week and feeds them, and then they go to other places other nights of that week. So I support that financially, and I've been sending my 16-year-old son down there to love on people so that he goes to People Loving Nashville. I have 4 more at home that I'm rearing, but I'm glad to send him down there.
That's awesome, man. Well, I've worked with the homeless a number of years. I was in ministry about 12 years, and I found the homeless, a lot of the homeless love Jesus, and they claim him as their savior. So I'm wondering, what is your perception of Jesus exactly?
My perception of Jesus is, well, first of all, he's Son of God, Messiah. But for me, it's more personal than those bigger things. Of course, he's that to me. He's my savior. But personally, he's sort of my lifeline, my connection to God the Father, and the only way I could ever be accepted by God the Father. But he wrapped his arms around me and said, "I'm doing this for you," and took me with him to his father's feet, and makes me accepted.
That's awesome, dude. Growing up, what did your parents do for a living?
My mom was a homemaker, and my dad was in real estate.
Were they supportive of your music growing up, and you trying to seek a career in music? And
yeah, I mean, at first they were a little taken back by the style because I was really rapping mostly at first. I was into hip hop music, so they were a little taken back. My dad didn't like it. My dad was a little on the religious side, but he began to open up when he would read the lyrics. When I tell him to forget about the music and read my lyrics, and I think he began to see that I did want to turn people's eyes toward the King through my music and cause people to love people well and do the things that were dear to us.
Well, it's great when parents are supportive. I don't think you can ask for much more in life.
Absolutely.
You've been with Goatee Records, working with them for a long time. What does Goatee Records do to hold their bands accountable?
Well, we walk with them closely. We talk to them. We from time to time meet with their pastors with the band and ask them to be. And if it gets to be a little if it starts getting a little out of control, we typically ask who their spiritual authority is, and we seek that out because we don't feel like we're spiritual authority. We feel like they should have a local church and a pastor that is their spiritual authority, so we can begin to love them the way they need to be loved and sort of put some accountability in their life that maybe would aid in their walk.
That's great. That's great. The music scene in the summertime is full of festivals and people, and Warped Tour being one of the biggest. We've interviewed a lot of bands on Warped Tour, and the Christian scene in music festivals has dropped. What support do you have for Christian bands that go on some of these non-Christian tours in the summer that give them great exposure? What advice do you have?
Well, first of all, I'm an advocate of that. I think we need to be everywhere. We don't need to be confined to the walls of the church or to the sitting behind stained glass windows. I think we need to be out there in the world being salt and light. So for me, I encourage bands to do that, but at the same time, I think it tends to be a taxing thing on their faith. It tends to, any touring sort of tries to make your heart hard and jaded, tends to make your heart hard and jaded. And I think you have to be very offensive about retaining a soft heart, be aggressive about that's the most important thing to you, because when your heart begins to get cold, when your heart begins to get jaded, your defense system is down, and I just think it's hard to be a passionate believer, be in pursuit of God when your heart is hard. And I think that it's easy to fall prey to that out there on the road. So I would say surround yourself with brothers that can, or sisters that can walk with you, that can turn your eyes to the King.
You've been married a long time, and you've been a musician on the road. How do you make your marriage work when you're gone so much, and to continue to keep a relationship with your wife and with your kids?
I think for me, it's kind of making that matter. If that really matters to you, you'll make time for it. If it really matters for you, you would be flexible to do what it takes to make that work. Meaning, if it's important to you, then you get home. If it's important to you, even though most artists record from noon till 3 in the morning, I record from 10 till 10. From 10 till 6. And I get home and I eat dinner with my family, and we go around the table and we ask, what was the best part of your day? And my family's important to me, and therefore I set my life up to make sure that they know they're important to me. If you just let it start slipping, I could be in the studio till all hours. But if I'm at my dinner table every night, because that's what's important to me. So I think you have to set your life up like that, and you have to allow your wife, particularly I spoke about my wife, you have to give her license to speak to you candidly, and be open-hearted, open-minded to what her needs are and what the family's needs are versus your career.
That's awesome.
Or over your career, I guess.
If you got on a city bus today, say, you're in Tennessee, say you were in Nashville and you got in a city bus and you're commuting, and a guy next to you, say you had a Bible or something Christian, and he turned to you and he just said, what is the gospel? And you didn't know how long you were going to have a ride with him or how long you got to talk to him. What would you tell him?
First of all, she told me this is the last question. I'm getting in trouble here. I think I would say that. What is it? I think I would say the gospel is the good news of Jesus Christ. The good news that He loves you. The good news that He's there to forgive you, and there to represent you to the Father in heaven.
Well, Toby, thanks for your time.
All right, sir.
Yeah, and enjoy your performance, and we look forward to your record coming out later this year.
Thank you so much, sir. You have a great one.